Hello and welcome to this week's edition of CTN Community Update. Information sessions on proposed changes to school boundaries are kicking off across District 11. In all, about 4,500 students would be impacted by the changes, including some here in Coon Rapids. At the elementary level here in the city, around 600 students would be moved to new schools. The majority of those will be Eisenhower Elementary students moving to University Avenue and Jefferson Elementary schools. Some students will also move from Hamilton to Adams and Adams to Hamilton, as well as Sand Creek to Morris By and Eisenhower. At the middle school level, around 500 students would move from Northdale Middle School to Coon Rapids Middle School, and 300 students would move from Roosevelt to Northdale Middle School. The goal is to have Coon Rapids Middle School feed Coon Rapids High School instead of two different middle schools.
For a number of years, we've had parents asking us to move the students from Northdale that attend Coon Rapids High School to Coon Rapids Middle School because that's where their friends are. They grew up with those kids. They're playing in the association league with those kids.
There are no boundary changes proposed at the high school level. There are several more meetings at local elementary schools next week, and both middle schools in Coon Rapids will hold community meetings on March 6th. For more information on the proposed school boundaries, log on to the district's website. The school board is expected to adopt the new school boundaries at the end of September. The changes will take effect for the start of the 2019-2020 school year. Lawmakers convened in St. Paul on Tuesday for the start of the 2018 legislative session. They have just 3 months to tackle a wide range of issues, including how to adjust the state income tax system following recent changes to the federal tax code. The city's legislative priorities for 2018 relate to transportation. City officials want a third lane added to Highway 10 between Hanson Boulevard and Round Lake Boulevard. Also, they would like to see a full interchange at Highway 610 and Coon Rapids Boulevard. A project funded in part by action during last year's legislative session will get underway this spring. On Thursday night, dozens of people turned out at the final open house for the Hanson Boulevard grade separation project. In addition to an overpass at the Hanson Boulevard Railroad tracks, frontage roads will be constructed on the south side of the bridge that will connect with neighboring side streets. Also, a pedestrian tunnel for a park trail corridor will be built south of the crossing. Some homes along Hanson Boulevard were demolished for the project, but Anoka County has tried to minimize the impact to the area as much as possible.
I think since the last open house, we've had some minor revisions to the plans. We received a lot of good public comments at our previous open house, and so we've tried to address those in this new revision. We've tried to eliminate as many property impacts as we can.
Preparation work for the project will begin this year, along with the relocation of utilities. Next year, the county hopes construction of the overpass can start in March or April and be finished by the start of the new school year. Hanson Boulevard will be shut down during construction of the overpass in 2019. Construction is expected to begin next week on emergency repairs to the land bridge over Coon Creek on Main Street. The westbound lanes of the roadway were shut down late last month after an Anoka County Highway Department employee discovered a bump in the road that didn't feel normal. An inspection discovered a ledge on a pier cap that holds one of the concrete bridge decks had failed. The repair work is expected to be finished by the end of March. A family's pet is believed to have started a fire that destroyed their Coon Rapids home earlier this week. The flames broke out on President's Day morning at this home on the 60 block of 104th Avenue. A fire alarm call alerted authorities, who discovered smoke and flames coming out of a rear window. No one was home at the time of the fire. The homeowners believe one of their dogs turned on the stove while jumping up to investigate what was on the stovetop, something that happened in the past. 2 dogs and a cat died in the fire. A scare for a Metro Transit bus driver on Tuesday morning who says they were cut off by another motorist on Highway 610. The driver lost control and went down an embankment. Thankfully, no passengers were on the bus and the driver was not injured, but couldn't get out because the door was wedged against some trees. The Coon Rapids Fire Department responded to help the driver exit through the emergency window. Authorities say the trees saved the bus from rolling over off the retaining wall. The city is moving forward with plans to redevelop Lions Coon Creek Park next year, the last park to be renovated with proceeds from the park referendum. On Tuesday night, the City Council awarded the design service agreement to WSB and Associates Incorporated in the amount of $110,000. Following feedback from the public last fall, the concept plan has been modified a bit, including a reduction in the number of parking spaces. The original plan called for 105 spots. The new version shows approximately 75 parking spots for vehicles. Also, the pedestrian bridge over Coon Creek is proposed to be replaced with a new 10-foot wide steel truss bridge. The city is looking for people interested in serving on the Coon Creek Watershed Board. To be eligible, you must reside within the watershed district boundaries, be eligible to vote in the district, and not be a public officer of the county, state, or federal government. For more information on how to submit your name, log on to the city's website, coonrapidsmn.gov. A store that closed nearly a decade ago is planning to reopen in a new area of Riverdale. Sportsman's Warehouse plans to open this summer between Office Max and Michael's in the old Sports Authority storefront in Riverdale Commons. Interior and exterior remodeling will take place in the next few months, and new signage will go up. Sportsman's Warehouse closed its 3 Minnesota stores in the spring of 2009 after the company filed for bankruptcy protection. The stores specialize in hunting, fishing, and camping equipment, along with footwear and outerwear. A longtime sporting goods store in downtown Anoka has closed its doors. Sports Shack, which opened back in 1976, went out of business at the end of January. The storefront at 2nd and Main was a popular place to find apparel representing local school sports teams. The longtime owners decided it was time to sell the building and retire. They are still renting space in the basement to continue their screen printing and embroidery business on a part-time basis. A Coon Rapids High School gym class was on a roll this week. A former national champion basketball player and junior Olympic gold medalist dropped by class. While the students practiced basketball skills, the true lesson of the day was much more meaningful. CTN's Jennifer Anderson has the story.
3, 2, 1, go!
Drills are nothing new for Quincy Taylor. It's just that he's usually on his feet.
It's really different.
When this two-sport athlete sat down, his perspective opened up.
And it really just found a newfound respect.
Respect for fellow athletes.
You gotta keep it out here!
Who happen to use a wheelchair.
You know, our wheels are their legs.
Mark Braun is a decorated wheelchair athlete. He took over the accelerated basketball class at Coon Rapids High School on Wednesday. About 30 able-bodied students sat in borrowed chairs to experience wheelchair basketball firsthand.
I hope that they can take away from this that, you know, just because we're in wheelchairs doesn't mean that we're not able to do the exact same thing.
Phy Ed teacher Tom Bruggers invited him. The move was inspired by another athlete in the room, Mohammed Sahil.
They get to see how it is in my view.
Sahil has been in a wheelchair since birth. The senior plays on adapted teams at Coon Rapids High School. Wednesday's class was a rare chance for all of the students to truly see eye to eye.
If you're in a wheelchair or whatever the case might be, you are equal.
He does everything we do, so it's really cool to see his perspective with a whole bunch of different other people too.
For CTN Community Update, I'm Jennifer Anderson.
This is the first time they've tried using wheelchairs in the accelerated basketball class. The Anoka American Legion donated wheelchairs for the students to use. Hundreds of brave souls will take a dip in Crooked Lake this weekend. This year's Anoka County Polar Plunge is Saturday at 1 o'clock. So far, more than 500 people have signed up. You can also donate online at plungemn.org. All the money raised goes to support Special Olympics Minnesota. The annual Parade of Homes Spring Showcase gets underway this weekend, and one of 5 dream homes on the tour is right here in Coon Rapids. This Cape Cod Nantucket-style home is located on the Mississippi River off Mississippi Drive and built by Parent Custom Homes. It features 4 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, a grand front porch, amazing kitchen, elevator, theater, and much more. And it can be yours for just $1.7 million. Because it's a dream home, there is a $5 charge to get in. The Parade of Homes continues through March 25th. The most expensive home on the tour is a $2.5 million lake home in Stillwater. Pretty spendy. That's going to bring us to the end of today's show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week.